Hey guys, it's your boy Quay, your boys back with another video. If you're new to my channel, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, turn on my post notifications so you guys could be notified when your boy posts another video. So today basically we gotta talk about a lot of things, y'all. I did watch the TYRA-NT documentary that appeared on Netflix. It was like a 3-part documentary, y'all. It was a good documentary. I ain't even gonna care, but like I stayed up late last night watching that whole documentary. I couldn't go to sleep or nothing until I finished it. I ate, and watched it, y'all. Like I just couldn't go to sleep because I was getting into it like bad, bad, bad. We're gonna watch the teaser, y'all, or like the trailer, y'all, that Netflix had posted like on YouTube and stuff. Hopefully, y'all don't get copyright or anything. But we're gonna watch that for the people that didn't see it, okay, y'all. And then I'm gonna touch bases upon how I feel about the whole documentary and who I believe and who I, feel some type of way because I did binge watch the show. When the show came out, I think I was like born. I was, young and stuff like that. But I did binge watch the show when I was like in high school and stuff. High school, middle school range. I did watch it. I think like my favorite season was when, Eva had won that season and stuff like that. But I did binge watch it and stuff. And some characters I didn't know that was on the documentary, but I did have my own opinions on their side of the story. But we are gonna watch the trailer that YouTube had or Netflix had put out for the people that didn't see it, y'all. So let's get into this video, guys. Make sure you guys like this video, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And let's see, y'all.
I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. I haven't really said much, but now it's time.
On America's Next Top Model, we were showing the behind the scenes of what the fashion world was.
I wanted to fight against the fashion industry. The only reason the door was open to me was because of Tyra.
We had an audience of over 100 million people.
I felt like I was part of something so big.
That was a moment where I realized, oh my God, I think we built a monster.
There was a lot of body shaming. You're not thin enough. You're not thin enough.
We are actually going to switch your ethnicities.
Oh, baby girl, baby girl.
Things get crazier and crazier. Going to get a medical procedure as part of a makeover. Look at my teeth. Horrific.
There was a line that I feel was crossed. He's
That was so
grabbing my
crazy.
legs.
I was happy they put her
For
on
some
there.
reason, no one
I really liked her
seemed to
on
see
this season.
It's a TV show to you guys, but this is my life.
I realized Tyra would do anything for the success of her show.
I knew I went too far.
You want to talk about being slapped across the face,
We felt betrayed.
then slapped right back.
It was very, very intense. But you guys were demanding it. And so we kept pushing more. Why are we filming this? And more. So fucked up. And more.
Okay, y'all, that was the trailer of it, y'all. When I seen the trailer, y'all, I was like so excited. I did say that I really actually did want to watch the show. Okay, y'all, I'm gonna say how I feel about the documentary. Now, I do feel like the documentary was a 10 out of 10. I would watch it again for like the second time. I'll probably watch it like 3 times. Because I did want to watch this show before. I want to watch the show at least 2-3 times for me to basically come on, y'all, and explain how I feel about it when it comes down to the TYRA-NT documentary and how do I feel like about Tyra as a whole. A lot of people having, their different opinions when it comes down to Tyra. They feel like, she messed everybody's lives up, or they're bashing her, or they feel like, she didn't take accountability of, her actions and stuff like that. Okay, y'all. I feel like there's a difference between modeling and entertainment. Okay? I feel like a lot of people correlates the two. And I feel like it's totally different. Okay, TYRA-NT, okay, I feel like in the part 1, TYRA-NT basically talked about, what she wanted to, do. And what she went through, in the first part of the episode. When it comes down to changing the modeling industry, she felt like, of her coming up, and her being in the model industry, she went through like trials and tribulations, in her own life and her perspective of what a lot of people did to her and like what a lot of agents didn't want to see when it come down to like signing models and all types of stuff. So she went through so much. So she felt like, it was always about, the type of sizing a model had to be, the type of height a model had to be, their eating habits. Like, that all played like a role in becoming a good, fantastic model. And I feel like Tyra was judged so many times to where it's like she wanted to change that narrative of what a model is supposed to be. Like, I feel like she wants to show that models could be formed in all shapes and all sizes in different colors, but it's just, instead of having that one specific sigma of what a model is. So I feel like her plan and her goal was on the right path of what she wanted to do. I mean, she wanted to change the modeling industry. So she chose to do a reality TV show to do that. And I feel like, she went by it in a good way. She had a plan. She had the people behind her. She had an immediate family, behind her. When it comes down to, like photographers being, a part of the judges, her good friends being a part of, being like makeup artists and stuff, being one of the judges as well. A person that taught her, how to walk the runway, It's like she had so many people planned already, and all she needed was a network. And, she went to so many networks and stuff, and they all was telling her, no, this not gonna work, this not gonna work, this not gonna work. And then instantly, her last result, came to light, and, a person believed in her show. Like, they believed in her, persona of what she wanted to do. They seen her vision. So it's like they took it, and, they put a budget behind her, and they gave her, her network, to like, jump off, like her show to jump off. I mean, she do have to crawl before she walk. At the end of the day, they're gonna have a little small budget for her to, choose from. So it's like she gotta learn how to cut costs, and then, once her show evolves, then that's when the money come. That's when the budget starts to, come, and, better stage, better lights, better cameras, better, more people, more camera crew, more security. It's like, the budget starts to budget, and I feel like, at the beginning, she was just like basically starting. And it's like this was her first time. She didn't know anything. So she didn't know what she had to do. She just know who the people that she needed to place in positions when it come down to like the judging and stuff. And I feel like she was on the right path. Now, when it come down to the models that spoke on the documentary about their story, it was a Black African woman who basically touched bases upon, she didn't like the fact that they didn't have any, people in our culture, like hair, like barbers and, salons and stuff, like people that do, things. But back in the day was totally different from now. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of things we could have said vocally. The world we live in now is very sensitive. So it's like we have to watch what we say, watch what we do, because it's like we could be labeled as canceled, and we're in the world as cancel culture. So I feel like, times has changed. So like back in the day, they didn't have, like Black African, barbers or people that does different Black, Americans hair textures. Like, they didn't know anything by that. So it's like, we were still evolving, we were still growing. So she didn't like, how her hair was placed. One of the barbers did have like bald spots in her hair. She did feel some type of way about that. I understand, her scenario. Becoming a Black African woman, it wasn't easy for her, but she had to overcome that. She was told, she wasn't beautiful, but she had to, build her confidence and stuff, when it came down to like her everyday life, because she did spoke on, what she had to, do behind the scenes in her personal life. Another person talked about her relationship when it came down to she was in a relationship with her boyfriend. She worked at a grocery store. I think it was like Walgreens and stuff. Everybody was just had their own opinion when it came down to how Tyra Banks treated them. And I feel like, Tyra Banks had it the route, and she knew what she wanted to do when it come down to the show. But I feel like as the show was getting bigger and bigger and bigger, it started to be more so entertainment than talent. And I feel like that's where we living in now. Like, I feel like back in the day, you see like how the preparation and how the start began. I feel like Tyra Banks was the definition of the starting of not, it's not about talent anymore. It's about entertainment. And I feel like she changed that genre when it comes down to today's society of like now, because it's like, even when I watch American Idol, I feel like, I'm not saying that people on American Idol that is on there now not talented, but I feel like it's more so focused on the people that they put in front of position of cameras, is people that have platforms already, is people that have agents already, people that already have a name for themselves, people that, you know, are basically, you know, you could do research in them and see that they have a platform to their names. It's not people that's not known. It's not people that, you know, coming from the bottom up. Like, it's not people like that. And it's all about storytelling. It's all about people that's, and I don't want to say be mean and say not talented, because I feel like people in American Idol right now is talented, but I feel like it's all about publicity. It's all about ratings. It's all about what they could do, you know, to increase that revenue. And I feel like that's where it's lacking now. And I feel like Tyra Banks created that. And I don't want to blame her, just her, because I feel like it's also a lot of people that played a role in, you know, more so basically, you know, having publicity than talent. And I hate that. Like, that's something that I just do not like about that. But when it comes down to like the Walgreens girl and stuff like that, she felt some type of way because she didn't like the fact that, I guess, how they portrayed her on the show. She did touch bases about her basically, you know, not looking at herself as being pretty. And she felt like she wasn't a model. She didn't know how to walk, and it's like basically they was teaching her as she go throughout the show. She did get very far, and she was like learning as a model, you know, because she never did it before. And, you know, for something that, you know, she was new to, she, you know, really did enjoy that. And I really did like that about her. And it was she touched bases upon, you know, with the situation with, like, with her boyfriend and stuff. I think it was her. Yeah, I think it was her. She touched bases about her boyfriend, and I guess it was one of the cast members. They had the host of the show, or one of the judges, had them basically, you know, have their own driver at like an island that they went to, where they was like filming at, and one of the people that was like running in the competition decided to invite all the drivers that they each had to like their household to like have like, I guess, like have like a little party and stuff. And she basically said that she had, you know, intercourse with one of the guys and stuff, and she didn't like the fact that the producers just allowed that to basically happen and stuff. And she felt like they should have stopped it, especially because she was intoxicated. But I feel like, honestly, when it comes out to her, and I really don't want to be mean and stuff like that, and that is traumatic to her. And I do want to apologize, you know, to her for, you know, if something happened that like that to her. But I do feel like, you know, looking at it, I feel like it could be weird, because at the end of the day, she's still on TV. It's like I feel like she couldn't go by what she signed up for, because she doesn't know. But at the end of the day, you know, this is her first time doing camera, but it's like everything was on camera. Like, they wanted her to call her boyfriend to talk about what she did, you know, sleeping with another man, you know, on, you know, reality TV show. And it's like her boyfriend had to watch the show and see that, and she didn't even want to, you know, acknowledge it when she went like on the Tyra Banks show, and she said Tyra Banks had wound up like showing it to her. But I feel like it's not a Tyra Banks thing. Like, I feel like it's more so Tyra Banks can't help on. It got to the point where Tyra Banks couldn't control her own show. Like, at the end of the show, like, she was fired. Like, they threw her away, like, to the wolves. Like, that shows you, like, it's always going to be somebody over her. And she has to obey by the rules. Like, whatever a person wants to do with a show, and whatever, like, they have storytellers when it comes down to show. Like, that's why they have storytellers. Like, they want them to go a certain route. Sometimes they have a winner, a particular winner that they want to win the show. And it's like they're trying to have the storytellers that's in the back that actresses and, you know, people, reality TV stars don't see, and it's like they're moving differently and they're doing things to where it's like they could eliminate people in different scenarios. Like one of the judges also talked about, you know, it was some pictures that they was even choosing as like their headshot. Like they really didn't, the models really didn't care for that specific picture, but that picture was chosen. But it was only to go about for them to eliminate those models, which I really didn't agree with, because I feel like that's kind of like messed up in a way. And it's like, I feel like y'all already have a winner, so it's like y'all wasting my time. And it got to the point where it's like they knew who they wanted to win. It's just they was trying to see how they was going to do it. That's why I say like everything is more so entertainment than talent. And I feel like people can't fault TYRA for doing that, even though I feel like TYRA had the brand and, you know, the brain behind it and how to, you know, operate it. But at the end of the day, it's still a reality TV show. They want ratings. They want to do things that's not, haven't been done before. They want to, you know, keep pushing people, keep doing things to where it could be entertainment to watch. And I feel like that was really foul and really messed up. I do feel like TYRA knew that, you know, her friends and stuff, like the photographer and her stylist and all of them, was going to get fired. But, you know, that's why she sent, you know, I forgot his name, Mr. J, flowers and stuff like that. And I just knew, you know, I just knew that. But I just feel like she can't control on what she do, because at the end of the day, she got to obey by the person that's over her, their rules. Like, even one girl talked about, you know, her sizing, and she felt like she was uncomfortable when some of the models, she had like a picture taken, and some of the models was like behind the scenes was like feeling her on her a certain type of way, and she didn't like the fact that they had it like her storyline was basically of her being, you know, an overweight model and having her eat one bagel. She was really eating one bagel, and it was making it seem like she was eating 20 bagels, you know, and she really wasn't eating that much food. And they was like showing her like her gut and stuff like that, like fat shaming her on a reality TV show, because her storyline or the storytellers was trying to portray her as a person that eats a lot, and she's like a fat model, or had that stigma of her, which I really didn't agree with. What is like they're using that to have her as her storyline. Like they're making storylines for individual models. That's why they do evaluations. That's why they do behind the scene back information, background checks, and all types of stuff. They want information on you. Another girl said that her mother went through a gun situation when it came down to it, and she wound up getting like paralyzed and stuff. And they had her do a photo shoot. You could say dedicated towards that, but she knew that she told the storytellers, you know, what she told like the producers that happened, and they just used that. While like they had her actually do that, I feel like they wanted to respond. They wanted her to respond differently, and they wanted her to act differently so they could capture that on camera. That's why I feel like it's more so dealing when it comes down to storytelling and then about talent. And I feel like that's with rappers, same way. It's not just with models. Like I feel like talent is like is being overlooked now. It's not like a thing. And back in the day, it was really more so about talent. It's like that stigma has changed, and it's kind of crazy in a way. I might do a part 2 on me basically talking about it, because I do have comments, you know, when it come down to all of them as a whole. I might do a part 2 of the Tyra Banks documentary, because it was a good documentary. I know I didn't touch bases upon a lot when it come down to this situation, because I feel like I most touched base on episode 1 in the trailer, which y'all seen. I didn't get touch bases upon like the dentist and all types of stuff of girls pulling out their teeth and stuff. Like it's a lot, y'all, when it came down to it. I might do a part 2. Y'all let me know in the comments if y'all want that, y'all. Make sure you guys like this video, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Y'all join the gang. And as always, guys, I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. As always, be breezy, don't be easy. Yeah.
What can I say? Can you damn? She wanna be petty. Never stress, but that's what I said. I don't care what nobody say. I am lit. What can I say? Yeah.